the emergence of China has also contributed to the renaissance in the Asian region. Today, Asia is also in the midst of an economic transformation. If it maintains its current growth trajectory, the region would see its GDP per capita increase by sixfold by 2050 and account for almost half of global GDP. Asia would regain the dominant economic position it held some 30 years ago, before the Industrial Revolution. I think if there is a chart, we can see that before the Industrial Revolution, the share of the Asia countries in the global economy played a key dominant role. Therefore, some experts have called this the Asian century. An Asian Development Bank report, Asia 2050, published in August last year, ranked United States on top of 15 countries in terms of GDP at 14.6 trillion and per capita income at 46,000 for the year 2010. This was followed by China at the second rank, Japan and India respectively at the third and the fourth rank. Indonesia was ranked 15th with GDP at 1 trillion US dollar. It is worth highlighting that 5 East Asian countries, namely China, Japan, India, Korea and Indonesia, are on this list. The report projected China and India to be the top 2 global economies by 2050, replacing the United States. China's GDP is forecasted to increase by 8 times to 88 trillion US dollar and per capita income of 62,100 US dollar, and India by 4 times to 88 trillion as well. The US will expand its GDP by about 3 times to reach GDP 40 trillion US dollar and per capita at 97,800 US dollar. By the middle of 21st century, EDB projected that 6 East Asian economies will be in the top 15 global economies, including China, India, Indonesia, Japan, Vietnam, and Korea. In 2010, China surpassed Japan to become the world's second largest economy after US. China's size in land and in populations, its rapid economic growth, and its rising prominence in global affairs are dramatically changing the strategic map of the world. Clearly, China will be the engine of East Asia growth, shared with India. Ladies and gentlemen, now I will discuss China's rising trade with ASEAN and its key role in 2 East Asia regional institutions, which is ASEAN Plus 3 and East Asia Summit. At present, ASEAN trade with other non-ASEAN members is much larger than the intra-ASEAN trade with each other. In recent years, intra-ASEAN trade has increased to almost 4-fold in 2008 compared to that in 1998. In 2009, total ASEAN trade reached 1.5 trillion US dollar in 2009, with intra-ASEAN trade amounting to 376 billion US dollar. ASEAN trade with its dialogue partners, namely China, Japan, Korea, US, and EU, has also been rising rapidly. The total ASEAN trade from 2000 to 2008 shows rising trend of China trade in the regions, whilst Japan and Korea has declined. So this is very interesting phenomenon. As of mid-2010, the share of ASEAN trade with China is 11.6% and 10.5% for Japan. While in contrast, in 1998, ASEAN trade with China was only 3.5% and 14.1% with Japan. This is a significant shift in ASEAN trade pattern over the past 10 years. China is emerging as the dominant supplier to wide-ranging manufacturing industries in the region. East Asia's economy's production networks are undergoing structural change. This rose from shift of China major export sectors, as well as several ASEAN economies, from labor-intensive export to intermediate goods in machinery, equipment, and electronics, with higher import content for their relatively higher value output for export. ASEAN and East Asian economy are emerging as the major suppliers of intermediate products to global production networks. China is now the #1 trading partner for ASEAN economies and East Asia region. This will be further expanded under the ASEAN-China FTA that came into force in 2010. With the size of China's economy, there are good reasons to expect a growing role of China in East Asia region. With the unfolding Euro crisis and state of US economy, China will play a prominent role in leading the East Asia region in global growth. Ladies and gentlemen, I turn now to China's role in East Asia regional cooperations. Over the past 3 decades, regionalism and regional integration has evolved in East Asia at various levels. The region's degree of regional economic integration is second only to the European Union. Besides deepening regionalization, new regional frameworks and organizations within East Asia regions have emerged and turning the regions into a vibrant and dynamic community of nations. China plays a prominent role in 2 of the key Asian regional communities, namely ASEAN Plus 3 and East Asia Summit. ASEAN Plus 3 is a forum for cooperation between ASEAN member states and the 3 East Asian nations of China, Japan, and South Korea. Its inaugural summit was held in late 1997, which coincided with the Asian financial crisis at the time. As a result, ASEAN Plus 3 turned its attention on crisis-related issues and put in place the Chiang Mai Initiative and the ASEAN Bond Market Initiative to promote regional financial stability. Although ASEAN Plus 3 has since broadened its agenda, the US financial crisis in 2008-2009 once again turned ASEAN Plus 3 into a useful forum to map out preparatory cooperative measures to safeguard the region's financial stability. Through ASEAN Plus 3, China, with the world's largest foreign exchange reserve, contributed substantial financial support to the Chiang Mai Initiative and other crisis-related initiatives such as currency swap agreements and ASEAN Currency Crisis Support Facility. Both schemes have made some substantive progress. While improving regional financial governance remains a core task of the ASEAN Plus 3, its agenda was expanded to embrace the other areas of cooperation, including small business development, environmental technology, infrastructure logistics, food and health security issue, human resource development, e-commerce, energy resource management, pollution abatement, international migration, maritime piracy, information communication technology cooperations, custom information exchange, agriculture technology and management training programs. China, Japan, and Korea joined ASEAN's Emergency Rice Reserve Program, first set up in 1979, to create new East Asia Emergency Rice Reserve system to improve regional food security and safeguard rural livelihood in the regions. And its cooperation was updated with the APTER agreement signed last year. The idea for establishing an East Asia Summit was first raised at the 2000 ASEAN Plus 3 Summit, but the first East Asia Summit meeting was held as a side event of the ASEAN Summit in December 2005. East Asia membership comprises ASEAN Plus 3 countries, also India, Australia, and New Zealand. Aside from its summit meeting, annual East Asia Foreign Minister informal consultations, and other meetings for environment and economy have been convened since 2006. The last East Asia Summit was held last November in Bali, attended by 10 ASEAN members and 6 countries, include China, Japan, Korea, India, Australia, and New Zealand, plus United States and Russia. The East Asia Summit is seen as essentially a leaders-led forum with the aim of responding promptly to any emerging challenge to the changing and dynamic regional and international landscape. In conclusion, Asia is in the midst of a truly historic transformation. If Asia economies could maintain their momentum for the next 40 years and adapt to the shifting global economic and technological environment by continually recreating their comparative advantage, it could by 2050 account for more than half of the global economy in the world, including on trade, investment, and enjoy the widespread of the affluence. In marching toward the Asian century, the region must have collective regional actions, particularly in dealing with the energy security, food security, and climate change issues, and also including on the natural disasters management. The world will continue to see the dominance of China in the years ahead. Rising China will no doubt play an influential and crucial role in the future development of East Asia. And as just explained by Mr. Liu, that Indonesia and China share a lot of common. We have similar background in the culture, also in the size of geography, and also the population size. And Indonesia and China need to work together in keeping to maintain a peace, safe, and stable region in East Asia. Because we need to have the establishment of the dynamic equilibrium based on the principle of common stability, common security, and common prosperity among members within the regions. So I think this international conference really is timely, as mentioned, that between the two countries there was the strategic partnership agreement between the two countries that was signed in 2005 by our two leaders. And this is timely. We have so many similarity. We can work together in maintaining the regions peacefully and also safely and stably. Thank you very much. 谢谢.
Thank you very much, Dr. Rizal. Okay, I will try to sum up some few points and probably to leave some questions for, especially for our younger generation, the students here, and all the other participants from the other institutions. So as mentioned actually by both speakers, that we do admit that China and Indonesia have a very long history of friendly relations, which dated back since probably 600 years ago, since the visit of the Admiral Zheng He, probably which is known in Indonesia as Zheng Ho, and which we are commemorating with having a temple in the Semarang area from the Zheng He visits. And in spite of our diversity in cultures and probably some differences between the two countries, we do have a lot of similarities. So actually we can actually strengthen our cooperation, whether it's in G2G, government to business, B2B, business to business, C2C, consumer to consumer, and also P2P, which is people to people. So we hope that also China rise actually also can benefit all the other regions, as also stated by Dr. Rizal. In East Asia, there's economic statistics that actually Indonesia, India, Japan, Vietnam, and Korea is going to be the focus of the next global economy. And actually Mr. Liu Chen also stated about the MDGs. He said it actually about poverty, health, and etc. So actually this is the Millennium Development Goals, which is set by the United Nations. So we can also talk a little bit about the MDGs and China's roles for its own country, and also to help to reach MDGs in other countries. And there is several issues to discuss, but again, because we are not going to, if we have a dispute or conflict, we do have hope that we will not settle it by war, but through peace and cooperation. And especially we do have a lot of non-traditional security issues right now happening throughout the world. So we need to actually take more attention on the issues of food security, energy security, water security, especially with the issue of climate change, which is on the rise. To share also our brief discussion and our research last year with the Minister of Defense, he said that actually Indonesia is also taking China as one of a very powerful partner in security and non-security issues. And he said that actually China has been evolving a lot and trying to strengthen their knowledge about disaster management issue. This is also actually a very focal point for Indonesia, because as an archipelago, we do have a lot of problem in the disaster management area. So probably China and Indonesia can also work together in the disaster management issues. We'll try to agree or disagree, but we'll have some question and we'll see whether we reach a conclusion or we just agree to disagree. Okay, we'll give the floor for the students or other participants to raise questions, probably 3 questions. You can ask both speakers 3 questions first, and then they will answer, and then another 3 afterwards.
I'm Pandu Dewanata from Political Science of University of Indonesia. Pandu Dewanata. Okay, thank you for the opportunity you give to me. First, I want to ask Mr. Chen. As we know, that China is now the second biggest country in economy and trade development. Besides that, China also, as you said earlier, taken advantage when Europe was in a crisis. So you take advantage of it and you can sell your commodity there. And also, one thing that becomes my question is that which one has the biggest role in China's trade and economic development? Is it the policy of your economy, or is it the power of your citizen, which is quite big, so you can produce so many things and you can sell it somewhere else in the globe? And also, I have the second question, actually to Mr. Chen. I want to know, earlier you said about the China's peaceful development. Actually, what is it, China's peaceful development? And then, which is the focus of that development? Okay, thank you. That's all of my question. Thank you for the opportunity. Share.
Please address Mr. Liu Chen as Mr. Liu, if we cannot pronounce the full name of Liu Chen. So Mr. Liu will just do.
Good morning. My name is Adi Dharma. I am from postgraduate student from Japanese Area Studies. First, I want to ask Mr. Rizal. We all know that China is the biggest exporter. Now, concerning about CAFTA, China Asian Free Trade Area, there are some concern and there are some fear that the China exporting power, China power in export commodity could hurt and could kill our